Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? This is the last day of play-by-play training camp. So just wanted to definitely chime in on that. This is the last day we're going to get the play-by-play and stuff like that. We've been doing it for, 16 days, 16 training camp practices, and it was a lot of fun. I went to training camp in person on July 29th. That was a good time. Definitely enjoyed the training camp experience. So just want to end this on a good note here. And just give a couple updates. So this video won't be long, like I always say. But I do want to start off with them. With the transaction that they made today. They signed center Nick Harris. Nick Harris is probably going to be the Nate Herbig replacement. And then also they might want Nick Harris to take Michael Dieter's spot as the backup center to Tyler Biadasz. Excuse me. Now you look at PFF numbers. Now Nick Harris, is not like Nick Harris played a lot. Let me pull up Michael Dieter's stats too. How many games that he played, because I know he didn't play in many games, but he had to play in the Falcons game. He had to start in the New Orleans game. So he started 2 games. He played in 17 games, more like special teams. But yeah, he started 2 games. Nate Herbig actually played in 16 games with the Houston Texans in 2023. Michael Dieter actually started 10 games in 2023, but the way that Michael Dieter played last year, we would prefer somebody else to play. Now, Nick Harris, you look at his PFF numbers last year, he had a 59.2, and Michael Dieter had a 51.2. So about eight numbers above. Nick Harris had eight numbers better than Michael Dieter per PFF. So I guess that's some improvement. To sign a guy off the street right now, it's like kind of the best that you're going to get at this point as far as a backup center in Nick Harris. Nick Harris, he's an athlete and a half. I feel like I say that about a lot of people, but this guy is an athlete. He really is. Look at it. He was drafted in 2020. He was a 5th-round pick by the Cleveland Browns. You look at the combine numbers, and he was ranked 3rd for centers in the 2020 combine. His athleticism score was a 76. He had a total score of 73. He was ranked 4th. He had a 5'1", 40-yard dash. That's pretty fast for a big fella like Nick Harris, 6'1", 302 pounds. Bench press reps 20, which is pretty solid. RES score at the time was pretty solid too. It wasn't really ranked. 6.7, which is good. And his 40-yard dash was elite. 20-yard split elite. 10-yard split was elite as well. So he was kind of described as a dancing bear by his draft profile. He was projected to be where he was at, about a 5th-round pick. But you look at the write-up on him, it says, plays with tremendous grit and determination, could foot race a gap over on stretch plays, able to slide through lateral engagement and maintain his positioning, quick climber, taking good angles for his cutoffs, plays with sudden hands and a crisp, tight punch, able to shallow set with a wide base and decent anchor, low center of gravity provides natural leverage for him as well. Excellent lateral juice to scoop, stays stuck in the middle of the frame with good grip strength, plus body control to adjust and land on second level targets. His radar and magna are excellent. Hip to hip double teams, able to gather and redirect to capture twists and downhill darts from linebackers. So this sounds good enough to me as a backup center. So I guess he'll be battling against Michael Dieter for that center spot. If Nick Harris is going to make the roster. So we'll see what happens with, since Nate Herbig retired a couple weeks ago. So, and then they released Julian Good-Jones. I didn't talk about that much yesterday, but they did release Julian Good-Jones, who was another backup offensive lineman. So that's the news. And right up on Nick Harris. Nick Harris did miss the 2022 season with an injury. He has gone through a couple injuries throughout his career, and but he missed the whole 2022 season with an injury. And then he was placed on injured reserve with a knee injury his rookie season as well. So he struggled with some knee injuries, a couple hamstring injuries as well, looking at the write-up for Nick Harris, and he was just on the Browns last year. He was traded for a 7th-round pick. All right, so let's move on to the notes from Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn praised Jalen Lane a lot today, which is really, really good. He said he's one of the ones that have ascended so far. And watching the games, look at the preseason, yeah, he probably is the only one other than really him and Ja'Cory Brooks, as those last receivers have actually caught the football. Big Play Tay as well have actually caught the football, in the 2 preseason games. Luke McCaffrey, 0 targets, 0 catches. Not all his fault. And then Chris Moore, hands like a snake. KJ Osborne actually caught the football on Monday night, but still, like, he just hasn't been really good in practice and in the games so far. So good to hear that from about Jalen Lane, and Dan Quinn, excuse me, made sure to hype up Jalen Lane today. So we actually did get a real update about Marcus Mariota. So he will be ready for week 1, of course, which I didn't have that in doubt at all. But he did say he's been dealing with an Achilles tendonitis, and that rest was the best way to remedy. He did not take part in 11-on-11 work today because Dan Quinn has really, really, really gate kept injuries. I still don't think he said specifically what Noah Brown's injury was. I think he did come out and say a knee injury. But even then, he hasn't said like the severity of it or anything like that. He's really, really gate kept that since minicamp. And honestly, you know, I'm not even gonna say it's gamesmanship, but sometimes you just need to come out and say what it is because Noah Brown hasn't even practiced. He still didn't practice today. He sat on the sidelines and watched 11-on-11s, but we did get some type of update. So the update for Noah Brown, which is a positive update, is that the arrow is pointing up. That's what he said. So he didn't say he, excuse me, that he's hitting all the markers because that's like the generic thing that Dan Quinn says about Sam Cosmi all the time. But he said that Noah Brown is getting close. He said the arrow is pointing up for him. So we need him for week 1. I think he's another guy that's going to be ready for week 1. We need all hands on deck. Terry was at practice today. They took a video of him in a hoodie, in the huddle with the wide receivers on the sideline on 11-on-11. He wasn't talking to Adam Peters in this video, but he was out there, which, you know, I guess, you know, I'm not going to say it's positive or negative, but he was there today because he was not at the preseason game. Let's see what else. Brandon Coleman was back in full pads today for the Commanders' last training camp per Adam Kilgore, which is good news. If we get Brandon Coleman back out there, that would be great for the offensive line. Connolly at right tackle, right guard, possibly Andrew Wiley, left guard Brandon Coleman, left tackle Laremy Tunsil, and Biotis would be your center. And that would be the starting 5. And maybe Nick Allegretti would be your right guard, Andrew Wiley backup tackle, but he was taking snaps, rotating with Josh Connolly at right tackle today. So that's something that may happen, just like last year with Brandon Coleman and Cornelius Lucas. Jaden Daniels, of course, he hit Debo down the field on Mikey Sainristil and Quan Martin. I mean, that's just been like an everyday tweet from training camp. So that's good to see right there. Let's see what else. And then we'll probably wrap it up today. Marcus Mariota and Javonte Jean-Baptiste was out there today, which is good news. He was in pads, Javonte Jean-Baptiste. So he needs to play in this last game against the Ravens. Like, he needs to play. And he's got to show something. He's got to show something for sure. That is about it for today. Like I said, we'll wrap it up. Let me see if Jordan McGee did anything today, if there was anything noteworthy about Jordan McGee, because some people are saying that he should play on Saturday. But, you know, I don't mind him playing. I really don't. I don't mind him playing because we just haven't seen anything from him at all this training camp. But of course, he's supposed to be playing with the ones and out there and playing meaningful snaps in the game. So, but if he does play on Saturday, I wouldn't mind it. But they may just shelf him because he's just been so fragile the last 2 training camps and the last 2 preseasons. So they may just shelf him for the last game so he can actually be out there. Out there against the Giants. But yeah, that's it. So we'll see. What happens with Nick Harris? He'll definitely be there playing against the Ravens for sure, battling to make a roster spot. But this is the quote that Dan Quinn said about Jalen Lane. He says, he's the one I see the ascension taking place. He said that he sees Lane taking the coaching points and applying it onto the field. He can apply it very quickly. Jalen Lane is he's a coach's son. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Not surprised by that at all. But Noah Brown, we'll see. Like I said, I think he'll be ready for week 1. He was running some routes on the sidelines and stuff like that. But all you can do is sit back and trust Dan Quinn. He did a great job with Zach Ertz and resting him last year. Eckler at times resting him. Bobby Wagner and rest days, different players like that. So, but I'll wrap it up here, guys. That's the end of live updates from training camp. Tomorrow, I'll probably do a preview for the Ravens Commanders preseason game. So, all right, you guys, as always, have a great day. Peace.